Thank you for joining us. We've got a lot to talk about, from a number of visits that presidential candidates have been making in different regions across the country, to 1 million of votes that are up for grabs across the country. And of course, I'm not alone in studio. I'm joined by Alex Wanzala, who is a supporter of ODM party. And of course, we'll be joined in a few with Honorable Dennis Wakoli, who is a supporter of Ford Kenya Party. This is PLG Politics, Leadership and Governance. And my name is Rida Kering Chebet. Engage with us on Facebook, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and Twitter at Maisha TVKE. Our phone number is 0746 999 841. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you, Sonar. Chebet.
Yeah, just to begin, a word to our viewers, and then I will just give us a brief of what you think about the current politics of the country.
Yes, Chebet, thank you so much for this invitation. Also, let me just start by appreciating what Honorable Catherine Naliaka and Honorable Martin Wanyonyi, the incoming MC of Township Ward, for believing in me and giving me the opportunity to be able to work for them as a communication strategist. I really appreciate it. And I believe the duos have the capability and are formidable to be able to carry the day by the end of the day. Yes.
What about the what can you say about the politics of the national politics?
Well, as you understand very well, we are counting less than 45 days to general election. And right now I believe Wananchi are really very strongly trying to vet these true formidable horses. That is the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, who is my party leader and also our deputy president. And I believe this is the time now we are going to separate the beans from the pods. And Chebet, you cannot be able to lie to people at this particular rate. I believe right now we are looking at what this duo have been doing previously. You cannot be able to be talking about the future before without getting the track of history. There's this notion that normally say that history is going to judge you, and I believe this election is going to judge some of the individuals. If you have not been doing what is right for the people of this country, if you have not been following what the people have always wanted to do, we are talking about the concept the people are talking about. Because right now we are facing a lot of challenges, a lot of constraints as Kenyans. Tough times ahead. Especially, and to be precise, we're talking about the economical times. So I do believe this is the time now we need to realize that who has the solutions, who has the resolution, and who has the capability to be able to transform this particular country of ours.
And today we're going to focus a lot on national politics, and also of course we'll tackle a little bit of the regional politics, that is western politics. We have Bungoma, Trans Nzoia, Kakamega, Busia, Vihiga, Siaya County, Nandi County, Uasin Gishu, Trans Nzoia, West Pokot. But currently we start with national politics. We've seen a number of visits that presidential aspirants, candidates have been making in different regions of the country. I'll just mention a few. Like in Mount Kenya region, Deputy President William Ruto has visited the region 36 times, Raila Odinga 15 times. And Mount Kenya currently has the voters are 5.8 million. Then in western part of the country with 2.2 million voters, Ruto has visited the place 22 times, Raila 14 times. Then in Rift Valley, which also has one of the highest number of voters, we have 4.0 million voters. Ruto has visited the place 21 times, Raila 15 times. Then in the coastal region, Ruto has visited Coast 22 times, Raila 10 times. Then when you come to Ukambani, Ruto 14, Raila 2 times. Let's start with Mount Kenya region, where we've seen Ruto has visited Mount Kenya 36 times, Raila 15 times, and we have 5.8 million votes which are up for grabs. What are the key issues that will determine who is likely to walk away with this huge number of votes?
First of all, I'm not surprised, Chebet, that how the Deputy President and the Kenya Kwanza team are really transversing the central Kenya. And you see, it's very normal that when you visit some places a lot of time or regular basis, it means you are not certain of that particular region. And I do believe we in Azimio la Umoja, we climbed the mountain. But you see, that one is not important, Chebet. What is important is, and I don't want to contradict what Article 6 says about the accessibility of the government to all the regions. You know, it is very important to be able to balance all these regions. But talking about the central Kenya region, to be precise, we are talking about more than 5.8 million votes. That one is an epicenter of the electors we are talking about. And I do believe that that is the region which can be able to, you know, to separate now the loser and the winner by the end of the day. So it is very crucial and very critical at this particular time for both candidates to be able to transverse to that particular region. But also when you look at the numbers very well, because the deputy president has been there many times, you know, as Miolo Moja, we do believe in working with the people all across. And you see the times our presidential you know, flag bearer, that is Raila Amolo Odinga, has been there, does not really reflect the entire you know that particular zeal or maybe effusive in terms of voting that we need from that particular block, because you have seen Martha Karua also transversing there. You have seen the local leadership, those are members of parliament, the likes of Kanini Kega, also hosting several rallies. So I do believe when you add or sum up all those particular rallies, you are talking about more than 100 times, and I believe will be more than Kenya Kwanza. So I do believe the number Raila Amolo Odinga has been there. It has been through a very robust conversation. It is something to do with, you know, intercoordination between both the national council members of the Azimio la Umoja, because Raila Amolo Odinga also has some obligation to be able to take by the end of the day. You know, you cannot be able to be talking about one region all every now and then, though it is very crucial in terms of those particular you know, votes. But just like I've told you, you know, it is good also to be able to coordinate with the local leadership, because these are members of parliament and area MCS. These are people who understand, you know, what the people want. They do understand the challenges they have been facing. They do understand what we call in project management scope. You know, it is good to have the scope analysis of what you're talking about, the SWOT analysis rather. You know, you should be able to know the weakness, the strength of that particular region. And up this particular rate, we do understand what the people from that particular region have been facing, especially the issue to do with the Mira. And you see, that's why Raila Amolo Odinga, through his manifesto, he said that he's going to make sure that the open market and the global market of Mira has been established by the end of the day through his leadership. And I think those are kind of questions that have been able to be answered through our administration to make sure that we achieve the votes. Because you ask me what are, you know, kind of qualities that can be able to identify the person who is going to lead. Look at the development record, you know, Chebet, we have been talking about. Raila Amolo Odinga has a very clean record in terms of you know, establishment of development you know, projects when he was the PM. You remember Raila Amolo Odinga when he was the Prime Minister of this particular country. You know, that particular road that extends to from we are talking about the Thika Road Highway. It really not only it is
Raila Odinga or
no, you know Chebet, we had a grand coalition government 2007, and it's very in the public domain that that particular construction of that particular road was being initiated in the second term of you know, Kibaki the regime, and that's where Raila Amolo Odinga comes in. And you remember very well, his obligation was to protect the government projects, and that was one of the government project of that particular time, Chebet. So I do believe Raila Amolo Odinga had an intense, you know, kind of participation in that particular project. And you see that project has been tough for transportation of goods from one point to another to Nairobi, and also the ease of people. You know, Chebet, you cannot be able to talk about you know, economy and there's no movement. We need to have movement both from traders and also the product itself. So I think he's one of the greatest guys through the intercoordination with the, you know, our former and the late Prime and President, that is Kibaki. They made a very, you know, transversive kind of development. And I do believe this particular time also, you know, Raila Amolo Odinga talking about him climbing the mountain, it is not a story. It is something that the people of Central Kenya have been able to believe at, you know, to be able to give him a chance. Chebet, very well, when you look at our history, Raila Amolo Odinga has never been able to get an opportunity, even leave aside the people, the leaders themselves, they have not been able to support him. But we are seeing a very vast, you know, change and alteration even through the leadership itself from that particular region. That's why even luckily we have our deputy president as Martha Karua, the Iron Lady. That one, to me, it is not something slightly, it simply signifies in a very bigger perspective that the people of Central Kenya have been able to embrace the leadership of Raila Amolo Odinga.
So you think that ODM leader Raila Amolo Odinga will be able to grab 5.8 million votes in Mount Kenya region?
Not only even 5.5, totally honest, and to be honest, Chebet enough, he cannot be able to scoop everything, because also you understand Kenya Kwanza, they got their running mate from that particular region, and Gachagua, it's someone not can be able to be taken slightly. I do believe you are going to balance the votes, but what I know is for the first time you are going to scoop a very good percentage from that particular region, and this one is going to be added advantage on our side. It's going to be like a booster on the winning team of us. Yes.
Now in Western Kenya, a whooping 2.2 million votes, and Ruto 22 visits, then 14 visits by Raila Amolo Odinga.
Yes.
Who do you think is going to carry the day in Western?
Well, in Western Kenya, we have had a very tough, competition in terms of wooing voters. Chebet, it's very normal for you to be able to woo a woman. You need to have a very good, verbal conversation with the people itself. So, but we understand also in Azimio la Umoja we are facing a slightly challenge, because the principles of Kenya Kwanza, that is, my senator, Honorable Wetangula, and Honorable Mudavadi, they are coming from this particular region. And you see they have been able to be living in this region for a while.
Yeah.
So their positions cannot be able to be taken slightly. So we are having a very tough, kind of, political war, I can say, in this particular region. But I do believe also we have very strong people, like for example the governor of Kakamega, and party leader does the DAP also, and also the secretary general. I do believe Azimio la Umoja has, and also we have those people who have, diehards of Baba. You have had Baba scooping a lot of votes from this particular region for years. For decades.
Some will attribute that to support of Musalia Mudavadi and Moses.
That is notional, and you see we are entitled to opinions. Chebet Article 38 is very clear. People have been given that particular freedom to be able to give what they want to say. People have been talking here, and when you walk to the streets of this particular town of ours, you have people saying that some people are very close to Wetangula and they cannot be able to divide this particular votes, which is okay. But we in Azimio la Umoja, we do believe that through the manifesto of Baba, we are not just following Baba because he's our Baba. We follow Baba because we believe in his political, ideology. We do believe in his, political mandate, and we follow him because we believe this is the person who is going to salvage us. Regardless, here in Western, we have our own leaders who are who form the principalities of other region, coalition, that is Kenya Kwanza. But we do believe that we are following Baba because we believe in his leadership. That's why I'm telling you, we are going to scoop. And you see, even if you are going to have a division of 50, we do believe not less than 45% we are going to scoop from this particular year. That is confident, because I can be able to to give you a brief on how it is going to be taken in, because we believe in Busia we have a very strong supporter of ODM. Right? That one fall under the Azimio la Umoja. In Kakamega we have more than 80% of Baba's vote. That one fall under Azimio la Umoja. The only place we are going to have a division is here in Bungoma, and here we do believe we are not going to get less than 40%, Chebet. And I believe even in Vihiga County we are going to scoop a very good number in terms of even more than 55%. So I do believe in general, just in general, we are going to scoop very good percentage for Azimio la Umoja.
Yeah, based on the percentages that you're putting, you said 80%,
yes,
Kakamega,
yes.
Busia 90%,
yes.
Bungoma 40%. Do you think it will be possible for the Kenya Kwanza principles, that is Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula, to get the 90%? In fact, Malala said 95%.
That one is going to be impossible, Chebet. And without any kind of controversy, when the deputy president, gave that threshold of 70% from these leaders of ours, to me that one is a political suicidal. That is the reason why we have seen Honorable Moses Wetangula decided to to safeguard his senatorial seat, because it's something that he saw it cannot be able to compute. It cannot be able to work, because how can you say that you're going to scoop 70% and on the ground itself it has become hostile for you? So it cannot be able to make sense. And you see, they know, and it's in the public domain, that this is the area which has been dominated by Baba. It is not them who has been, that's where the problem is. People don't understand that it is not our senator and Mudavadi who has been trying to safeguard the interest of the votes of the people of Western to Baba. People of Western region have that, a perpetual love, for the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. And I do believe, Chebet, it is not going to have big changes in terms of voting. That one I can be able to assure you. Because when you look even at the members of parliament who have been defecting from Fort Kenya or ANC to be able to join DAP, the essence of them joining DAP, it is because DAP, it is the terrain of supporting Azimio la Umoja, and that is Baba. So I do believe this is the reason to why even the people on the ground are going to support Baba by the end of the day.
Yeah, talking of that, there's a time, I think it was 2013, Musalia Mudavadi decided to run for presidency. And we saw the outcome in western part of the country. You cannot just dismiss that the people of Western love Baba and his ideas, because in 2013 we saw Musalia Mudavadi carried almost, let me say, the only place that Raila Odinga managed to scoop more votes than Musalia Mudavadi was Kakamega and Busia County. Can you say that?
Chebet, on that particular matter, I don't have the factual figures, but I do believe what you're trying to tell me, it is not making sense, because I know
it is factual.
Chebet, I know that Mudavadi has never defeated Baba in any election. That one I know, even in the presidential race. And I know that Western region, we are the second leading, community in this particular country of ours. So logically speaking, if you are claiming that Mudavadi really defeated Baba in that particular race, even in this particular region, then how did that not reflect in the national polls? Because I do believe maybe you would have been the second position in this particular country. So Chebet, but you see, since I don't have the factual, I don't want to go deeper, but I do believe right now, when you even look at the number of aspirants who have taken the initiative to vie as DAP candidates and ODM in general, I think there are many that even compared to the other side, and that one should also not be taken lightly. It really reflects that even these leaders, and Chebet, when you're talking about a leader, when even an aspirant of the MCA position, I do believe he has one vote, but through his charismatism, he can be able to affect and be able to to take numbers in the ground. So you cannot be able to be talking about one vote. We are talking about a number of votes.
Yes, so let me just give you some numbers. You say that you don't have the numbers.
Totally.
In 2013, in Trans Nzoia County, Mudavadi, Raila actually had 92,035 votes, Mudavadi 24. That is another place where Raila...
very big margin.
Then in Bungoma County, Mudavadi had 107, Raila 185. Then in...
Pardon? 107? Raila had 180 something. Of course, he defeated him again.
Yes. Then in Vihiga County, Mudavadi defeated Raila Odinga.
Totally, yeah.
Then in Bungoma, there was also, I think I've just mentioned
Raila
that. Then in Kakamega, also the margin was not that big. So you can see that, you can see that Musalia Mudavadi also has a say in western part of the country.
Well, Chebet, that one I cannot be able to go against it. It is true. Even you have had this notion, people saying that Mudavadi has been the kingpin of Luhya people and the spokesperson. But also, when we are talking about the presidential debate, and you see, we have been having these, changes, transition, political transition process. So I do believe what people have been, and you see, Raila Odinga has been standing alone very strongly. But them being separated from NASA, I think that one was a very big blow to our brothers from Western, because people believe that if these people have not been able to reach where they had intended to reach. You know, as a great people who believe that they're going to change, you know, what people of Luhya nation have been able to incur all these years. Then I believe people lost that trust, that political trust from those particular two individuals. That is the reason why I'm telling you, Chebet, that it is very hard, you know, for them to be able to defeat Raila Amolo Odinga, even in their own bedroom.
Well, thank you so much, Honorable Alex Wanzala. I'll also ask the same question to our viewers. Do you think that between Raila Odinga, that is Azimio la Umoja, and Kenya Kwanza, which coalition will be able to scoop more votes in the western part of the country, given that we have the two principals who come from Western Kenya, who are perceived as the Western kingpin? We have Musalia Mudavadi and also Moses Wetangula. You can send your feedback via our phone number, which is 0746 999 841. So, Honorable Alex Wanzala, I've just mentioned to you the numbers. We have Mount Kenya 5.8 million votes, Western Kenya 2.2 million votes, Rift Valley 4.0 million votes, coastal part of the country 1.9 million votes. When you look at these numbers, where will the area of focus be come August 9th?
Well, Chebet, thank you so much. And just to start with, because when you look at those particular numbers, they differ from certain regions. And to me, as an analyst, I'll be able to say that those numbers reflect what the issues the people are facing by the end of the day. Because when you look at the issues which you know, the central Kenya people are facing, they are totally different from the issues the eastern people and the northern Kenya also are facing, or even us here in western region. So I do believe people are looking for a person who is going to, you know, to take their issues very seriously, and a person who is going also to look for a solution to be their problem. Because we have been having leaders having manifestos, leaders talking about what they are going to do for the people of Kenya, but by the end of the day, where they are being elected in, they disappear totally. For the 5 years, you never heard about them. So, and I believe Kenyans this particular time have really, you know, incurred a lot of challenges, and that one has been able to teach them a very tough lessons. So you remember very well in Nandi during the nominations, almost 23 you know, MCs were taken home direct. And that one signifies how strong and how serious Wananchi have been able to decide on this particular matter. So I think all those particular numbers, for example, even the western region here, we have been crying out, people have been crying about job employment opportunities. We are talking about, you know, this particular industry of ours, which are dead by the end of the day. You know, a region that has more than 4 productive, you know, farms, and they are dead, that one is not something to be taken slightly. It means there's a problem somewhere. And where is this particular problem? The leaders you have been putting them. And that's where I disagree totally with the deputy president, because him sitting in that particular position of the deputy president, he can be able to do something by the end of the day. Chebet, you know, you cannot be able to tell Kenyans that, you know, I've been denied opportunities, I've been denied, you know, obligations and positions, and you are sitting there. You know, it does not even to compute. So it means our leaders are very fed us. And you see, even here in Western, here in Bungoma, I do understand that our senators sit in a special committee. And you see, these particular committees were really initiated to be able to, you know, to hear the problems of people of those particular counties which are talking about, Chebet. And even our members of parliament from this particular region. You know, we have had, people are really listening that these particular members of parliament, they are legislators, they make laws. They go there, they discuss about these issues and concepts that are facing our people. So it means our representations here in Western region, for example, our members of parliament, and even these brothers of ours and sisters from the county assembly, they have been doing nothing, totally, Chebet. And you see, these issues and the numbers that are being reflected there, these two horses, they need to ascertain those particular numbers and take those particular numbers into real issues that are affecting the people, Chebet. Because when you look, for example, here in Western, for example, in Nairobi, we're talking about more than 2 million votes. People there, they have been complaining about the, you know, the health issues. People have been complaining about the employment opportunities. You know, the roads, they are in bad shape. Even these facilities, they are not working, Chebet. You remember there was a special, you know, coverage by one of the media stations talking about those particular, you know, NMS hospitals.
Lack of medicines.
There's nothing which is going on. Who is to blame? It is the government by the end of the day. So I think it is high time that our people should be sensitized on how important the voting process is, on how important, that particular vote you are taking the ballot, how critical and crucial it is by the end of the day. But Chebet, these two individuals, the two horses we are talking about, they are the only people who can be able to provide a remedy, for our people by the end of the day. Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Honorable Alex Wanzala, and I'm just seeing that our guest, Honorable Dennis Okoli, has just arrived.
I apologize.
Welcome, Honorable Okoli.
Thank you.
Can you say our two of yours maybe before we continue?
I want to apologize for coming late. My name is Dennis Wakoli Wasike, the chairman Bungoma for the Kenya Youth League, chama baba wa Roma, ndani ya Kenya Kwanza. We are a party that is prepared to form the government on 9th of August 2022. And today, actually I'm late because we are running what we call in the party peace forums. And we are telling Kenyans that after elections, there is life after elections. And we are putting together, like I've had 6 parties, both on the Azimio side. I was with ODM, Jubilee was around. Your brother Benson Msungu is in town. Yeah, I'm aware of that. He's in town. And we have Jubilee, we have Wiper, we have ANC, we have Ford Kenya, and we have KAN. And all the youth leaders in the whole nation. We are going around. We were in Mombasa, we came to Nakuru, we went to Kisumu. Today we are in Bungoma. We are going this weekend to Eldoret. And the message is, Rada ni peace. We want Kenyans to embrace peace during the campaigns, during the elections, and even after the elections. Thank you.
Well, karibu sana. We were talking about the numbers, the million of votes out there that are up for grabs come August. We were also talking about the issue of number of visits that presidential candidates have been making in those regions. Just to mention a few, we have Mount Kenya, where Ruto has visited 36 times, Raila 15 times, Western Kenya 22 times for Ruto, 14 for Raila. And I'll just give you a right to reply for what Honorable Wanzala was saying. He was saying that Azimio is going to carry the day in western part of the country, despite Deputy President William Ruto and his Kenya Kwanza team touring Western 22 times against Raila's 14 times. What do you have to say about that?
Thank you for the good question. Western is going to deliver more than 70% that was expected in Kenya Kwanza. And the reason being, in Bungoma today as we speak, Kenya Kwanza is enjoying popularity of almost 85%. And even when the NIS gave out the polls recently, it was already showing that in Kenya Kwanza, already Bungoma has achieved. Trans Nzoia, which is our neighbor in the Rift Valley, has also achieved. In Kakamega, as we stand today, the work that Malala has done is already bringing us to more than 57%. And that means by the time of the elections, we are going to go to our target, which is 70%. And to say the truth, where we are having a challenge today is Busia. Busia, we have had a challenge, but we are already at 48%. So summatively, by the time of the elections, we are going to whip more than 70% the target. Jebet, what you need to realize is that a child will always surround the point where he gets sweets. Actually, Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto has surrounded. In fact, it's not 22 times. He has come 24 times. I can count. And number two, Kenya Kwanza has been going to the villages. Azimio has just been moving around the towns, moving from one town to another town. We are going deep. Kopsiro in Mount Elgon, we go deep. If we go to Bumula, for example, we have gone down to the places like Nasianda, Masuno down there. Even the small markets have had rallies for Kenya Kwanza. And the reason why we are going to the villages is because we are saying that's where the people are. That's where the hustlers are. And we want to bond with them. We are even asking them, what is it that Kenya Kwanza government can do for you? Because actually you cannot solve a problem for the people and you actually don't understand what they are going through. That's the reason why we're doing so many rallies, and these rallies are paying. And I'm telling you, if today, without even mobilization, if today you told people that Kenya Kwanza rally is going to be in Bungoma, you don't need to carry people to Bungoma. People will come. Unlike when Azimio are doing any rallies, when Azimio are doing rallies in Western, you will find all school buses from Kisumu, from wherever, they are carrying people to their...
The other day, we saw Moses Kuria admitting that Kenya Kwanza, some of the leaders ferry people to their rallies.
They do. Which one?
That was the sentiments of Moses Kuria during an interview with one of the local media houses.
Yeah.
He said that during those campaigns, actually, I'm not sure if he was referring to the whole team, but he was saying that some of the team members carried their supporters to come and mtu wetu.
You know, Chebet, I'll tell you, and I just hope my friend is not giving a conjecture here. But the truth be told, you know, Moses Kuria, regardless he may behave like a psychopath, but everything that is coming from his mouth, it is the veracity of the matter. I can be able to tell you, Chebet, and my friend here, and you see, I can be able to, even when they had a rally here in Poster, I remember very well, and I was there. I saw some people whom I have never even seen in the particular video. But you see,
concerning that, it was the same case also during the ODM rally. I remember that.
By the end of the day, you know, Chebet, I can be able to tell that this conversation is going to end. Because he's going to tell me the same words. I'll tell him the same words. So conversation will just keep on flowing. Let me say, I'm able to tell you that my friend here is fortunate that he has been able to, you know, to give a very brief on how even tougher it is going to take for him to be able to scoop from Busia.
Yes.
You know, it is very good, and believe me, that 48% he's talking about, to me, that's what is not going to compute. We should be talking about less than 20% from that particular region. But you know, the most important thing, Chebet, that we need to understand very well, the way I said earlier, that regardless we are having, you know, the senator of Bungoma County as one of the greatest principle of Kenya Kwanza, but it is not going to be that easier here on the ground to be able to be sidelined to the
Berry 43%, and Governor Wycliffe Wangamati was at 42%. But look at the polls today. The polls already shows that Governor Lusaka is now at 57%. Wangamati is trailing him with 36%. Those are 2 weeks we've been here. That already tells you that Kenya Kwanza rallies are already taking effect. Because when you meet the people and you sell the agenda, and Kenya Kwanza is doing idealistic politics, the politics of ideas, and that already tells you that with increase of rallies, I'm telling you, in Bungoma, for example, we have other candidates for the senator. But look at the polls. If you move around, the respect that Senator Wetangula has for his people, he's a very humble leader. He only came and told his people, I respect you, I am your son, I want to go for national politics and make sure Kenya Kwanza delivers. He has not put a single poster in Bungoma. And Senator Moses Wetangula is right now at 78%. Those ones who are campaigning, those ones who are campaigning including the deputy governor of this county, is at 14%. That tells you that Kenya Kwanza has taken root in Bungoma. It has taken root in Western. Look at Malala, for example. When you were here, Malala was barely very low. He was at 22% in the polls. Look at where Malala is today. When people are saying that Fernandez Barasa was a front runner, today in Kakamega, there is no front runner. Malala is going to win elections. What is the reason? Kenya Kwanza rallies are taking effect.
Well, thank you, Honorable Wakoli. Thank you, Honorable Alex. And I would like to congratulate you for the good work you're doing. Rather than peace, elections will come, elections will go. Kenya will remain. Let's maintain peace even as we head towards the general elections. We are going for a short commercial break. PLG Politics, Leadership and Governance will be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The discussion continues. You're watching PLG Politics, Leadership and Governance here on Maisha Television. I'm not alone in studio with two guests who are helping me make sense to all these, which is politics of the country. We have on my far left, we have Honorable Dennis Wakoli, Ford Kenya supporter. Then we have Honorable Alex Wanzala, an ODM supporter. And we saw ODM leader Raila Odinga launched his manifesto some weeks ago, and we are expecting Deputy President William Ruto to do so. But my question is this: do Kenyans really evaluate manifesto, or they choose who they want to vote for based on the number of visits that or a number of campaigns or rallies they've seen in their regions? Let's start with Honorable Wakoli, then Alex.
I think if you realize the bet, what happens in Kenya is politics are one on euphoria. That when you create a euphoria around your candidate, then you win. The elite, the middle class, and the upper class people are the ones who are very keen on what is it in the manifesto. Because why? The middle class and the upper class are very keen on how do they make money from the next government. Where is the next government going to put more money in their budget? Because the manifesto of a party will always give an indication of how a given government wants to spend. For example, if a government has given a lot of money on, for example, the Ministry of Health, then it means that the people in the contraction kind of level, they're looking at, I have to be very keen on how many hospitals that are going to be constructed. How will I supply material? How will I supply, for example, drugs? How will I supply consultants services? But the people at the lower level, Mama Mboga always vote people just because of euphoria and slogans. If you have a nice slogan, a nice song, then you whip them to vote for you. So the manifesto came out, but you can even realize that there was very little debate about it. The debate about the manifesto took a very short time. That means that is not the conversation the Kenyans are looking at. The Kenyans are just waiting to see sugar prices go down. They are waiting to see how the government will ensure unga prices comes down. They don't even know that that one has to be put in the manifesto of a given party. So I think that is my submission.
Well, fair enough.
Thank you, Chebet, for that question. And I want also to concur with my friend here. You see, Kenyans, it's high time that Kenyans should be able to realize how imperative this particular theme of manifesto is as far as the existence is concerned. Because before you go and be able to vote for someone, you need to understand what is this particular guy bringing on the table by the end of the day. And you see, we have had this particular notion. For example, he has referred to them as Mama Mboga. These people from this low social class, they do believe that what these people are telling them on that particular stage, you know, the slogans they have, you know, the t-shirts, the color they are putting on, if it's yellow or blue, you know, the songs those guys are singing can only be able to convince them in the ballot. And that is very wrong. And that is the why we have left and we have many young people who are jobless up to this particular date. Yes. You know, Chebet, when you are going to vote for a psychopath, you know, someone who is going to sing for you in the rallies, someone who is going to kutusi wengine, and you see this is the formidable person who can be able to deliver by the end of the day, then on the wrong particular space. And I want to say this, that even before the leaders themselves decided to give out those particular manifestos to wananchi, let them have what we call a public participation by the end of the day. If these manifestos, they are real and they can be taken into, you know, to work, let them also have a conversation with the wananchi themselves to decide if this manifesto are right or wrong, Chebet. For example, when you're talking about, you know, even empowering these lobby groups, for example, or empowering these youth groups, you need to understand what these people want by the end of the day. You need to have a robust conversation with them to understand their challenges and to understand how that particular challenges can be able to be taken into productive by the end of the day. When you're talking about farmers, you need to understand what do these particular farmers want, so that you need to have a resolution or a remedy, Chebet. But when you stand there kwa rally na unaanza kuambia watu this, and you see this is the reason why even most of these MCAs, and it was very unfortunate, I had one of the MCAs telling people that he's going to tighten the security. You know, it's like you are taking us to be fools. We understand that the work of the security is with the national government. Where come MCA? How can you be able to tell people that you are going to make sure that the security is tight? It means you are lying to the people. And you say, Chebet, we need to scrutinize some of these particular manifestos so that people can be able to understand who are the real leaders and who are the imposters by the end of the day. So I think that is the subject we should be cut across all the part of this particular country. We need to scrutinize every leader when he's telling us what he wants us to do he wants to do for us or not. You know, Chebet, people have been voting. You have heard even stories of people saying that I voted for this guy, but he did not mean what he said. It is very unfortunate. Now, Kishakalia, that particular seat, you cannot be able to exclude him. You know, wananchi don't know the process. Some of them say that huyu tunampatia tu miaka 5 tena ndio tuanze kuongea naye, because we can't do anything by the end of the day. But it's under us. We have been given that particular, you know, power by the constitution. Sovereignty of the people. We can be able to eject this particular this particular minute when it comes to 2022. And I also, just to finalize on that, I want to tell people that let us read the development history of these particular leaders. Chebet, you know, leadership, it is not a position. You know, that particular time that you go in and can be able to change a situation or give you know, a certain unit of people direction, that is leadership. It shows how, you know, creative in terms of ideology you are. It shows that you can be able to deliver, you can be able to solve a problem by the end of the day.
Yes.
But if we are going to rely on these particular people who have money, and after every 5 years wanakuja pale kwa magari kubwa, they start lying to us, then we are going to vote for the wrong people. So it is time that you know, the wananchi themselves should be able also to have that conversation with the leaders, that we need this and this. Let us involve them in a public participation. Watuambie sisi tunataka, kama for example here, watuambie these particular vendors, Sisi tunataka mkitutoa hapa mtuweke hapa na muweke kwa hiyo manifesto yao. That is how leadership should be. But hii mambo ya watu kusimama pale na kudanganya watu, we should not be able to tolerate that nonsense.
Yeah, and don't you think that maybe the politicians are taking advantage of that? I know that you are young leaders. Honorable Wakoli, you lead the youth in Western Kenya or in Bungoma County. Same to Honorable Alex Wanzala. You had an organization, yes. Youth League.
It is a Young Aspirants
Association.
Yes.
Don't you think that the politicians are taking advantage, knowing that Kenyans hawajui about manifesto? Wao ni bora waje waambiwe, then at the end of the day they say that alitudanganya, of which it was not in his manifesto or her manifesto. What should be done to ensure that Kenyans elect leaders based on their what they say? Because I heard, it was so unfortunate, I had some watu wakiongeleshwa kule nje utapigia nani, and they were mentioning from the president to the MCS seat, and when it came to a particular seat you'll hear people saying that huyu hata nisipompigia atapewa tu, sasa ni yeye nitampatia. So they are just voting for someone because after all ni yeye atashinda tu.
Totally.
Honorable Wakoli,
I have a very good input about what you're asking. That's why I'm saying that Kenya Kwanza is going to give a solution to this country. Kenya Kwanza has taken a step because having realized that Kenyans are not very keen on manifesto, Kenya Kwanza came up with a strategy of doing what we call economic forums. Kenya Kwanza has done economic forums across the country. In the economic forums, the inclusion of the members who attended all economic forums across the country. We had Mama Mboga there, border sector, the business community of every area. And these people have been given a platform. Everywhere we've gone as Kenya Kwanza, they're given a platform to ask, what is it that we can do to empower the Juakali sector in this region? What is it we can do to empower the farming sector in this region? And the locals now have taken a chance to now explain to the leaders. And all our principals will be seated in all those economic forums, and they'll be taking questions and giving answers. And then after that, the strategy team of Kenya Kwanza puts down the analysis of the economic forum, for example, of Kimilili, or Kakamega, or Okisi, or Kilifi in Mombasa. Then now they put it down as a document that is going to inform the development agenda for Kenya Kwanza when they take office. That one has really helped to bring the government to the people. And that's why we are talking about bottoms up. We actually want to link with the people at the bottom, learn of their issues, put them in one document, and use the issues of the people now to run the government. That is the only way now you can get the agenda of the people and use the agenda of the people to build a nation. To me, that one already shows that Kenya Kwanza is not going to take advantage of a voter, because already the Kenya Kwanza has listened to the voter, prepared a document, and prepared to form a government and use the voters' ideas to run the government.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Well, Chebet, and you know, Kenya Kwanza, they have been talking about economy. They talk about economy every now and then, by which it's okay, but it's like they behave as if they have come to realize there's a problem with economy in this country only in 2022. But Chebet, you know, in Azimio la Umoja we have a group of young people, not only young people, but it cuts across, called the Angaza Action Team. And I happen to be, one of a member here in Bungoma County. Our main objective, it is to make sure we do what we call voter sensitization. We do what we call, the people leadership sensitization. This is a special segment whereby we involve the young people, not only the young people, but people of a certain unit of locality, in how important this particular voting process is, on which constraints they are facing as a unit of people, the strength that they have, that capability that they have, what they can be able to do, so that when we are going to analyze and consolidate all our manifesto, they can be able to fall under their umbrella. And you see, Chebet, the Azimio Moja, we have been doing this across. You remember very well there was this national summit which was done in the University of Nairobi, and Raila Amolo Odinga himself was the chief guest. This is whereby all the issues, all the opinions were put under the one bucket, and you see it cutted across all the people from these particular regions. People have been able to raise their concerns that are facing them, even both political, socially, and even economically. We cut across. As Melo Moja, and you see, Chebet, I can be able to tell you, for example, like the people of Kapedo. You cannot be able to tell a person who is living in Kapedo that I'm going to, to make sure that I stabilize the economy of this particular region. And they're killing themselves. You should also be able to realize that there's insecurity, constraints in that particular region. So Kenya Kwanza should not just be talking about the economy in this particular country. We have a lot of challenges that cut across the wananchi.
And what has Azimio la Umoja or what is Azimio la Umoja doing to ensure that they cut across all these issues?
Chebet, Chebet, I remember very well, and you asked me very tough questions that day, and I was able to scrutinize through all the the manifesto of Azimio la Umoja.
Yes.
And when you read those particular 10 points, it cut across all the sectors of this particular country.
And you are the same person who
yes.
just been saying that Kenyans don't really focus much on manifesto.
Well, Chebet, and you see, that is the reason why we have the Angaza Action Team. Our objectives are, like I've told you just a few minutes, we make sure that we have been able to sensitize people on how important those particular manifestos are in their lives. And that is why you are seeing people impressing it as Azimio la Umoja. Because Chebet, it is, a person who has gone to school and Mama Mboga there, you cannot handle them the same way. It means that particular Mama Mboga or boda riders, inatakana kwanza aenda ambiwe into vernacular language, or the language, the dialect that she can be able to understand, or she can be able to understand. But a person who is up there, you deal with him. And you see, not all people watch televisions, Chebet. When Baba was launching that particular manifesto, not all people can be able to afford this particular, television or even newspaper. So it means we have to go to the grounds. We have to go to door to be able to explain to people what we want to carry by the end of the day. And you see, I know my brother here is like, giving some, false or no information, but I can be able to tell you. And even he can be able to Google, and he understand very well that the Angaza Action Team, we have worked tirelessly day and night. People can be able to give compliments by them. Yes.
You're sure if I go, just let me finish.
Even
if I go to a village in, maybe say in Meseho,
yes.
You're sure that if I ask the residents of a village, they've been able to say
that. Tumefika mpaka Mihu huko ndani huko Webuye East sub county. Tumefika mpaka, we can be able to tell you were there last week.
Well, our viewers can attest
we were there
that
last week.
If Angaza has reached to a village,
yes.
you can tell us. Our phone number is there.
I had an issue to just comment. This is Mio la Kuzimia guys sometimes are very interesting people, because Jabet, and that's why I'll always insist on bottoms up, because the best kind of governance system, is participatory kind of system.
Yes.
And I'll have expected this Angaza team, the way they are calling it, I've never heard about it. I'm hearing it on TV today.
Because you are busy.
I'm hearing it on TV today. I could have expected that it could have come the other way around, on the flip side. Actually, the Angaza team could have gone to the people, get the information, build a manifesto, then after building a manifesto, come back to the people and, of course, do some public participation. That is why Kenya Kwanza did public participation. Now we're developing a document. Now when we put the manifesto in public. We publish it. The people now are going to say, or they are going to analyze the document and say, indeed, our issues that we raised in the Kimilili Dome of the Economic Forum has been captured in the manifesto. But if the manifesto is already out, how do you make the Azimio La Umoja government accountable to the people? It's going to be a challenge. They are not going to be accountable because it already means that they thought about what Kenyans want. If somebody was thinking about what you want in your family, then you have no point to question why he thought like that. So to me, it is that the manifesto of Azimio is out. They need to do a lot. They need to go back to the people and of course explain to them what does it mean, because in the manifesto the language that is used, you remember when we were dealing with BBI issue, Kenyans were saying they have no copies, and Kenyans were also requesting interpretation of even the BBI document. So that's the same thing. Mama Mboga down here, boda, not all our people are learned. So that's what I expect from Azimio. If they want Kenyans to understand their manifesto, one, bring the copies to the people. Two, interpret to the people so that the people can understand what the manifesto is carrying.
Kuna kitu inaitwa kujipanga. And my friend here knows very well. And you see, Sisi, it is not, these few months that people have been able to realize that you are going to the general election. Sisi tulijipanga mapema Chebet. We commenced this public participation very early. And by the time we have realized that these people are facing these particular challenges, then tukakuja na the final report. And you see, I've been able to tell my friend that the Angaza, action team was not created recently. Chebet. This is something which has been working on the ground for a very long time. And you see, when the Kenya Kwanza, presidential, candidate and the president were having this cleavage, sisi tuko tunajipanga huku tukijua what are people facing, because watu walikuwa wameshaanza kuwa na mashida Chebet. You remember very well, that is the time we faced a very tough economic, degradation by the end of the day. Sisi tulianza kulalamika si hapa mwisho. People started complaining about this economy when there was a cleavage between the president and the president themselves. So my friend here, when I'm talking that sisi tumeshajipanga, is even surprised. He doesn't understand when he comments all this. But you see, the most important Chebet is the manifesto that was launched was clearly touching on the lives, of the people of this particular country. Yes. You remember well, and I told you very well that it cut across. They came with this notion of Mitumba and the rest, and you see, it was the best policy to be able to, to stop that particular menace of cartels intervention. You remember very well, this Mitumba business. There are some people who are benefiting from it, even not wananchi themselves. Yes. But when this clause will be manifested here, it means you are going to create job employment, and it's going to be bought in at a cheaper price, Chebet. And that one is very good for our people. So I don't know all these notions whereby Honorable Wakoli is getting from, but what I do believe that the Angaza team has done a commendable job, and I want to, to congratulate all our coordinators from the 47 counties, the work they are doing.
Yeah, and the team is actually called Raila Action Team. And Angaza Volunteer Network.
Yes.
You should give the viewers the right information.
No, Chebet, and you see, Chebet.
Yes.
The essence why I have used the Angaza is these are people who have been able to volunteer themselves voluntarily to work for the Raila Odinga, to be able to safeguard the interests of the people when it comes to national outlook. Yes. Yeah,
so let's hope the Raila Action Team will reach all villages.
You see,
you say that it was launched.
Chebet, we have also, one of our programs is to sensitize people on the importance of peace when it comes to this particular election.
Well, and still talking about economy, we have 4 presidential candidates. We have ODM leader Raila Amolo Odinga, who is the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya presidential aspirant. We have Deputy President William Ruto, who is Kenya Kwanza's presidential aspirant. We have Agano's party presidential candidate Mwaure. Then we have Ruth's party presidential candidate, Professor Wajakoya. Between the two presidential candidates, who has the best plan to revamp the country's economy? Of course, we all know what is happening. Kenyans are crying. Bei ya unga imeshoot, bei ya sukari imeshoot. Who between the four candidates do you think has the best plan? Honorable Akoli.
The answer is obvious, that Dr. William Samoei Ruto, with the bottoms up economic model, is the best suited to become the president of this country. Why should I say so? Dr. William Samoei Ruto is talking about the bottoms up economic model. And in the world over, prosperity will always come from the bottom up. Why? Because if you want to change the country, you have to deal with the farmer, make sure the farmer has the produce on the farm, give value addition to the produce, then the industries will have the raw materials, and then the government will collect tax, and the government will be stable. And therefore, if you look at, we have two models. The Azimio la Umoja are talking about trickle down. It is very hard for Kenyans today to change and develop because of trickle down. Prosperity cannot come from two wealthy people to millions. Prosperity can only come from millions to the few people at the top. Because even the president of a country depends on the taxes that are collected from the people. And therefore, William Samoei Ruto, who is talking about the hustle nation, who is creating a perception that even a boda in the village can today form a circle, be empowered in the circle, and create an economic empire in this country, Kenya. That even a mama mboga can come up with a circle, form a cooperative, and then from that cooperative begin developing and create an economic empire. That today, as we are talking, even the Okiek, in the spirit of inclusivity, can come together and be empowered with the resources, so that now from the bottom up, Kenya can change, where every person has been given a chance to prosper. That country is going to be peaceful, that country is going to develop, that country is going to be stable, because it's going to raise enough taxes to the people, it's going to have enough food security, it's going to have peace. And therefore, that's the reason why I'm saying that in the agenda of Kenya Kwanza, number one, we are talking about improvement of infrastructure. That is key on the top agenda. Number two, education of the child is key, number two. Number three, we are talking about affordable healthcare, where each and every Kenyan will receive a universal NHIF card. These are issues that are affecting Kenyans. Number three, food security. Debate today, I've realized that Kenyans are very peaceful. Because if Kenyans were not peaceful, you can imagine a 2 kg of unga going at 220. In fact, on the streets, I was hearing people say 2 kg of unga is more expensive than a cooking sufuria of ugali. Because a cooking sufuria of ugali is sold at 190 bob, but 2 kg of unga is being sold at 220. We could be seeing a lot of riots on the streets because life is unbearable. If the people who have means, the people who work, who go to the ATM cannot manage to sustain this economy, then it means that those people at the lower girder of this economy are really suffering.
Yeah, we've gotten the answer, Honorable Wakoli. Deputy President is model is the best. Honorable
Chebet, let me go the rebuttal before I forget what I wanted to say. And my friend here, my good friend, is talking about saboteurs of economy on a line that he doesn't want to say who these people are. And you see, it is very, very vital to be able to make wananchi understand, because it is this particular wananchi who are going to vote by the end of the day. We need to make sure that they do understand very well where all these challenges are coming from, Chebet. The deputy president, who is the chairperson of, I think, there's this body that coordinates, the resources, the national resources, and which is a very key docket. Chebet, we are facing a very tough economic times whereby the presidency, we don't have stability in the presidency itself. That is the deputy president and the president, and we are talking about the Jubilee government. And who are these particular individuals? One of them is the deputy president and the other one is the president, by which the president has really tried on both ends to be able to salvage the current situation of this country. But unfortunately, his counterparts has been pulling him behind through all these accusations of political quagmire and the rest. Chebet, I want to tell you that today, the people of this particular country will lament, will be able to point fingers even after 50 years of transversely of this particular economy to the deputy president, because it is something that he cannot be able to to evade from. Chebet, Chebet, let me, I know the deputy president and is contemplated in the constitution. He is the principal assistant to the president. I do understand very well. And you see, the president has, through his powers, and I think article is it 135, he gives the deputy president mandate to be able to carry out. But Chebet, what happened? And you remember very well, 2 days ago, the president of Malawi also tore powers to the deputy president because of the same problems which he is facing. And you see, Chebet, this constitution of ours, it brings all these two as one. That's why it's called the presidency, Chebet. You cannot be able to separate these two individuals. When we have a problem, we are going to blame both of them. But that one is not important. Let me come to to what you inquired about. Chebet, at this particular rate, that's why we in Azimio la Umoja, we are telling people that we should not be voting even in consideration of voting, because if you are going to apply zoning in these particular regions, we are going to have from candidates. Let wananchi scrutinize those particular individuals to carry, the day by the end of the day. And you see, the only thing we can be able to do this is to make sure that we have their records, their history records of what they have been doing. Chebet. I don't have key problems when it comes to difference of ideology, because I believe for a country to move on well, we need to have these particular challenges of ideological difference, so that we reason together. Brainstorming will only come, it's a process that comes when two people of different ideology come together. But Chebet, let bygones be bygones by the end of the day. Raila Amolo Odinga, through his manifesto, is talking about the economy, to be precise, coming up with what we call industrial parks. That one is going to create more and more employment opportunities to our people, Chebet. We are talking about in every 47 counties, we are talking about our youth are going to be employed. One, if you employ young people, you are going to curb the issue of insecurity. I do believe young people in Kapedo who are causing, turmoils and hirems, the main reason why they are doing that, it is because those people are idle. They don't know what they're supposed to be doing by the end of the day. They lack, basics. They lack, that particular
the economy, because employment, we can say that some Kenyans currently are employed, but they cannot afford to buy.
Chebet, the issue of economy is very simple, Chebet. We do understand, and economists have put it in a very clear way. We do understand the sections of this particular industry that are going to create or are contributing to a larger, percentage to the GDP of this particular country. We are talking about the agricultural sector. Our friends here have been talking about they are going to empower our people, the farmers. And you remember very well, when we in Azimio, we have been talking about the issue of subsidy of fertilizers. They were criticizing us. telling us that where is this particular money going to come from to be able to subsidize the farmers. So it means they don't want farmers to be subsidized by the end of the day, and they are facing a lot of inequality. Chebet, here in Western, for example, the Mumia Sugar Company, it is not operational. And you see, BAMBA is not in government. That's what the problem is, and my friend here is going to attack me. BAMBA is not in government currently. That is the reason why we are owing wananchi to telling them that give BAMBA an opportunity to be able to lead us. Because by the end of the day, we are going to revive this particular industry. Even here in pan paper. If we are going to revive the pan paper and Mumia sugar, first of all, Chebet, we are talking about revenue collection here in this particular region of ours in Western.
Well, Honorable Okoli, Honorable Alex has just raised a number of issues, including the issue of subsidy of fertilizers, and he said that Kenya Kwanza criticized Azimio, saying that where
it is in the public domain and he can be able to tell us.
I think sometimes when I'm on the show, I don't like propaganda. I like facts, because if you look at the agenda, because if we put, even if we are not looking at the manifesto, but you look at the agenda that has been sold by Kenya Kwanza and the agenda that has been sold by Azimio, one of the issues that the deputy president has been very categorical about is to reduce the price of fertilizer from 6,000 to 2,500. Who doesn't know that? If we played video clips here about Kenya Kwanza rallies, there is no day that Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Mheshimiwa Moses Masika Wetangula, Mheshimiwa Musalia Mudavadi will fail to speak about fertilizer. Because
let him finish.
Because allow me finish.
Just a minute.
Allow me finish. So when Azimio insinuates that is going to give subsidy, because of course when now we talk about today as we are talking, a 50 kg bag of DAP is at 6,700. Now, for Kenya Kwanza to move it from 6,700 to 2,500, it means there must be subsidy. This is what is going to be put in our manifesto. Number two, my brother says Raila Amolo Odinga is not in government, but Raila Amolo Odinga stays in the State House.
That is a propaganda.
You see, since the handshake, any government that has done very well, it has to be put on check by the opposition. In Kenya, when the opposition leader, in the name of Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga, joined Mheshimiwa President Uhuru Kenyatta, that's when Kenyans started suffering, because there's nobody to check what the government is doing. All the plans that the president says, I want to do this, and Asema to yes, Raila says yes. When he wants to borrow another time, Raila says yes. When he wants to increase the price of sugar, mwingine anasema yes. One of them is increasing the prices of gas and oil. Another one is increasing the prices of fuel so that there is enough money for the campaigns. This kind of life is unbearable. And as Mio cannot lie to us, they need to explain to us what new things are they going to do to make a better government.
Honorable Alex, you wanted to say something?
Chebet, you see, even it's in the public domain that we do understand very well that the government that we are talking about here, it is the Jubilee government, and we cannot be able to go away from the fact that, and it's in the public domain, it is in the records, that we did elect the deputy president and the president to be able to lead this country. And they have to admit, the deputy president and the president themselves, they have to admit that they have led this country in the wrong direction. The essence of the great Raila Amolo Odinga coming in, as the opposition chief, was to be able to salvage the situation that was happening at that particular time.
Based on the current
and Chebet, I can be able to tell you this. Chebet, we have long-term goals and we have the short-term goals. That one is very critical. You know, if farmers are lamenting right now about the fertilizers because it's already a splitted milk, we cannot be able to retrieve it back. What do we do as a government? You need to have mitigation measures to be able to curb that particular menace. And the only thing was to be able to, you know, to protect the farmers through the subsidy. And you see, that one was a decision made through the Azimio la Umoja. In us to be able to understand that these people are really facing a lot of challenges, for us to be able not to go to 2022, because after the election, you know, it is very, you know, and it's very unfortunate that you are telling Kenyans to wait until you are being elected as the presidents to be able to, you know, to articulate issues that are facing them.
Well,
that one, Chebet, is not leadership. In leadership, you have to be there every now and then for the people, because you have that particular mandate. It is your obligation to be able to do that, and that's where the problem is. But the essence of Raila Amolo Odinga coming in to be able to salvage the situation was indeed very, very well.
Well, thank you so much. Enough of national politics. I'd like us now to shift to local politics. And I'm seeing that also our time is almost up. We'll tackle local politics just some, let's say 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So we have, let's start with Bungoma County. And actually, I think that we're going to talk about Bungoma Rest because it's getting tougher. We have 3 horses. We have the incumbent governor, Wycliffe Wangamati. We have Speaker, Senate Speaker Kenneth Lusaka, and also we have UDP candidate Honorable Zakaria Barasa. And you cannot dismiss Honorable Zakaria Barasa's input in the race. I know that you can agree with me.
Yes. Yeah,
I can see Honorable Wakoli. Well, we have the 3 candidates. Let's start with Honorable Wakoli. We have Ford Kenya in the race. We have DAP Kenya in the race, and also we have EUDP.
I think, Jabet, the Bungoma gubernatorial race is already has already indicated who is going to be the next governor. The polls don't lie. And we begin with the polls. Mizani, Tifa, and even Nis have already put Governor Ken Makelo Lusaka at 57%. Far away from the incumbent, who is at barely 36%. This has just happened in 2 weeks because the incumbent has been around campaigning all through, but Governor Lusaka has been away, busy with the senatorial work. The reason why this has changed and it's not going to reverse is because people want a servant for their leader. I've said on this show many times that the promises that Governor Wangamati made during the elections of 2017 are the ones that are going to send Governor Wangamati home. Governor Wangamati, when he was campaigning, he promised to build an industrial park in Webuye. Do we have an industrial park? The answer is wrong. The answer is no. Governor Wangamati promised to come up with a motorcycle assembling company at Kimaiti in Bumula. If you ask me, do we have an assembling company for motorcycles in Bumula, in Kimaiti? The answer is no. Governor Wangamati promised to come up with a crisps company of cassava in Bokoli. If you ask me today if Governor Wangamati has delivered on that, the answer is no. Governor Wangamati promised people from Tongaren that because the road had been started between Prikidia to Mesihu, it had already been started by Governor Lusaka. He was going to complete that road. If you ask me today if he's completed the road, the answer is no. So now, these issues are the ones that are backstabbing Governor Wangamati. And that's the reason why I'm saying he is going to keep going down. What about Lusaka? When Governor Lusaka was here as a governor, there are three things that are making him to be called back. It's the people of Bungoma who told Governor Lusaka, come back to Bungoma. Number one, trade loans. It was a stamp message to the people of Bungoma because he gave trade loans to Mama Boga. He gave trade loans to people who could not even manage to run business. Number two, Youth Empowerment Fund. That was the greatest fund that the youths were moving around celebrating Lusaka. They're waiting. Number three, he gave tenders to the youth. That was a key issue. He gave appointments to the youth. These are issues. There was also a border fund. You remember during that time, Governor Wangamati was able to, Governor Lusaka was able to put in the circle of border enough funds until the border pass that time. So, which the borders can tell us where it is. That means that Governor Lusaka was suited for the job, is suited for the job, and is going to win. By the way, Jabet, I want to say it here.
Yes, finish up.
I just want to say it here. That Governor Lusaka is going to win with more than 300,000 votes. And I want you to remind me when I come here after elections, if Governor Wangamati gets more than 60,000 votes, we'll be here with you. You'll ask me.
Well, before I give Honorable Alex time to speak, a number of residents from Bungoma County are also raising the issues that Governor Wangamati, Senate Speaker Kenneth Lusaka was also a governor here, and there are some things he promised and he never fulfilled. There was corruption. We know the scandal of jerry cans and wheelbarrows. What do you think will be different when he clinches the seat again?
I think you're missing the point. Jerry cans are with Governor Wangamati. In fact, when you go to the streets, you'll find Governor Jerry cans. Oh yeah, now you see, Governor Wangamati is known as Governor Jerry cans, huh? But Governor Lusaka, that issue has always come up in the debate. The issue of wheelbarrow has come up in the debate, and my answer has been that is the issue that went to court. Remember, there were people who were charged about that case. Governor Lusaka, as a chief accountant, he was just brought into the mix because of the mistakes that were done by some people. And Jabet, you need to realize that the issue of oversight, the issue of who will approve the budget before any procurement is done, is an issue that is solely left to the county assembly. And that is where we need to tighten the bolt and tell the county assembly of Bungoma that you need to do your oversight role well and well.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Let me just reiterate kidogo. And if my friend here is trying to cover something, that the person who did a very good oversight job as this was the senator, he's party leader of that particular time, and he went there to the Senate and told the Senate that that governor should go home. Mm-hmm. That is, Lusaka should go home. He's not saying that. Well, Chebet, you know, the people of Bungoma, they need someone who is not going to peculiate, someone who is not going to be indulged in, you know, embezzlement of funds, someone who is not going to be indulged in matters of graft. And when you look very well, through when you compare that the regime of that is the Senate Speaker and the incumbent, that is Wangamati, you know, there's a very vast change, and you see you cannot even be able to compare the two. When you are talking about projects which have been able to be installed, and some of these particular projects have even, like for example, my friend here has come very fast from Kandui, courtesy of Wangamati. It's something that we are proud of as residents of this particular town. And Chebet, I want to assure you, regardless of those polls is talking about. You know, it is very important to be able to walk through the households of wananchi to be able to understand what these borders are saying. It is very important. You know, these are people who cannot be able to be neglected because they have votes by the end of the day. And when you listen to these people, the only song I'm listening to is Wangamati Tano Tena. And you see, that is something that you should not be taken lightly. But, you know, Chebet, I also want to tell you that on matters governance, you know, it is very crucial and very critical because we do understand as residents of Bungoma the challenges we are facing. The challenges we have been facing for the last 5 years. And you see, it is very important that some of these particular challenges, someone who is trying at least to salvage us is Wangamati. I can be able to tell you now the sons and daughters of peasants can be able to smile all the way because they can be able to learn smoothly even in the tertiary level. You know, Chebet, when you walk through these villages, there are some people who cannot even afford 2,000 to take their kid to school. And when someone has scored a very good grade, like for example an A+, and he wants to study medicine, and he does not have, you know, the means to be able to do that, and we have someone who has come, in fact he's like God sent from above. We are very proud of this governor, and we want to say, and people are saying that he should be given another chance to be able to complete what he's doing. Yes. And Chebet, it is not time to be able to, you know, to put a lot of consideration into these particular polls. You remember very well that BAMBA, we have been winning all through, and the polls were even above 85%. All the polls. But by the end of the day, BAMBA did not be able to become the president. I want to tell you that this time around we are going to achieve the achievable.
Well, thank you so much. I think that we've come to the end of the show, but I'll give you 1 minute, strictly 1 minute to say your last words.
I want to speak to Kenyans, and I said here that when you want to change the country, you have to empower the people. And the people are the more million Kenyans who are waiting to see a government that will bring down the prices of the commodities that they spend every day. Today, as I speak on this show, even the price of a small commodity like salt, cooking salt, has gone up. We want to change the conversation. We want Kenyans not to waste their votes. They need to embrace bottoms up. They need to embrace Deputy President William Samoei Ruto, come out in large numbers and vote for him on the 9th of August. And as we go to vote, maintain peace. Rather ni peace. Thank you very much.
Well, Chebet, I just want to urge you know, the residents of this country of ours, and even the residents of Bungoma County, that, you know, you cannot be able to run away from the factuals. And Raila Amolo Odinga has the solution for this country. He's someone who has been tested, and he has been trusted by the end of the day. When you look at when this country, you know, transformed, was through his tenure as the Prime Minister of this particular country. When Raila Amolo Odinga was the Prime Minister, was the Member of Parliament for Langata, there is something which people have never talked about. It is not a matter of those structures. It is a matter of, you know, the urban, you know, program, the urban housing program that Raila commenced during particular time. And I also want to tell the residents of Bungoma County that, you know, to believe through Honorable, you know, Catherine Naliaka, someone who has been tested and he has been proven to be the right person to be able to salvage the wananchi of this particular place. And Chebet, just to finalize, you know, when you walk through the streets of this particular ward of township, there are some things which people have been facing a lot. First of all, is an issue to do with unemployment. We are born in this town. The issue of insecurity. You have seen even the issue of these vendors. They don't have a platform. They don't have programs. The only person who has a solution for that is Honorable Martin Wanyonyi. And I want to tell people, it is not si story ni kazi. Pale juu tunasema Wangamati tano tano.
Anasema rada ni pia.
Lusaka, Senator Wetangula, Mama Catherine Wambelianga, Don't waste your vote.
Well, thank you so much, Waheshimiwa. And just as we finalize this show, this is not the opinion of Maisha Television. It is the opinion of my guests who are with us. We had Honorable Dennis Wakoli, a Ford Kenya supporter, and Honorable Alex Wanzala, ODM supporter. Asanteni sana, and much appreciation to our viewers for being with us. This is Politics, Leadership and Governance here on Maisha Television. Engage with us, Facebook and YouTube, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and Twitter at Maisha TV KE. Our phone number is 0746 999 841. See you next time.